So Vata, Pitta and Kapha are three humors or energies that our bodies are made up of. Like, for example, the constitution, the proportions of Vata, Pitta and Kapha in each person is unique to them. Like, let's say, like your iris, your fingerprint, your DNA, it's unique to you. So that's why the Prakriti is very important in Ayurveda when it comes to treatment and also maintaining your wellness. I think it's not something that only doctors should know about. I think it's something that needs to be known by the general public as well, because it's important to know what is good for you before you consume it. Even food, let's say cosmetics or whatever. The lack of self-care and self-respect, really. We don't have that as, I think, Asian or Eastern women, with the culture and the society influencing us from a very young age with all the responsibilities. Something I've heard and really admire is that you cannot fill another cup from an empty or half full glass. So you need to have your cup full before you try and try to fill other people's cups. So.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Founders Podcast. Today I'm flying solo, so I have promised Rushma to do my best, and let's hope this is another awesome episode from our channel. We also like to take this opportunity to remind you all to subscribe to our channel and hit the like button. We noticed that a lot of people are liking our content, you're watching it, but maybe you're forgetting to subscribe. So take this opportunity to click that bell icon at the bottom and show your support. So today we are going to start with a very interesting speaker, Dr. Maheshika, who is a student of Ayurveda and also an Ayurveda practitioner now herself, and has been doing something very interesting with women and wellness. We got here because Rushma and I have been thinking about our own wellness, about women in general, and how for years we've been suffering from some ailment or the other. And remarkably, it seemed that a lot of other women are also in the same boat, from bloating, digestive issues to hormonal issues. I feel that it is a lot to do with our menstrual cycle and our hormone balancing. And this is something we want to work on and use our platform to further study and promote awareness about. And so we thought that this is a good opportunity to bring in an expert, Dr. Maheshika herself, who runs a clinic called Surya Shri Veda Gedara at Stratford Avenue, Colombo 5. She told me that she focuses mainly on women and wellness, and we hope that she will throw some light into why we as women suffer so many issues, why are these very unique to the female body, and how can we understand. So thank you, Dr. Mahi. I think you like to be called. Welcome to the podcast. And
Thank you very much.
To start off with, I just want to highlight something really interesting I saw on your website. You said that you came to this to kind of not only to bring Ayurveda knowledge into modern products, modern wellness products, but also to make something that was unique to your Prakriti, right? Now,
Correct.
I am no Ayurveda expert, so I want you to start with how did you come here, and give our listeners a brief introduction about yourself.
There's a huge stress and expectation that you will finally someday go into MBBS and become a doctor. So I was never really interested in MBBS. I'm not sure why, but anyways, I was interested in looking forward in healing and wellness anyways. And then I was able to get into Ayurveda, the BAMS at University of Kelaniya. So that's where my medical journey really starts. And after the academic and internship and all that process as a graduate, I finally was graduated in 2018 16, and since then I've been practicing. And in our second year, we come across a subject. In our third year, actually, we come across a subject called Rasa Shastra, where we make medicines out of minerals. And that is where really my spark of getting into products and Ayurveda related wellness products someday was initiated. From there onwards, I was really looking forward to, like, I do like the clinical aspect of Ayurveda, yes, definitely, but that I feel is very limited. But if I can introduce Ayurveda as a product, or wellness, in wellness purposes, I think that would be easy to reach a wider audience, because wellness is really neglected these days because people are in such a fast paced lifestyle. So that is where my journey started, and from there onwards I've been slowly coming to where I am, and now we have our clinic and a few products that we associate with wellness and also health, other health concerns as well. Yeah.
Just to get this clarified, because a lot of people, when you say Ayurveda doctor, there's a misconception that it's not like, okay, vitamin or not a real doctor kind of belief. So can you tell our listeners like what actually goes into this, into becoming an Ayurveda practitioner, and why it is very much legitimate today?
Right. So this perception that Ayurveda is like a alternative medical system is, well, actually, when you look at our history, Ayurveda and native medicine is what has been there in our, all these millennia. From the, it dates back to even King Ravana, I think about 10,000 years ago. So our people have been a healthy and, well nourished a group of people, and not just us, but now you think of any local community in the world, there is a medical system, so it's similar to that. Now let me just give an example where why people should not disregard Ayurveda doctors as just some sort of alternative help to your wellness or health concerns. Now when you take the first year of an Ayurveda student, we actually follow 11 subjects compared to a Western medical student where they only follow 3 subjects, which is anatomy, physiology, I think it's pharmaceuticals or something related to that, biochemistry. So now in Ayurveda, we follow anatomy and physiology as well. And apart from that, we follow another 9 Ayurvedic subjects, which are also Ayurveda anatomy, Ayurveda physiology, and many basic fundamental subjects in the first year. So now, if you look at the, because there is no like cutoff or a limitation in what we learn exactly the same components of anatomy and physiology a Western medical student would learn in our first and going forward. So actually an Ayurveda doctor is quite equipped with knowledge and in modern anatomy and physiology as well as Ayurveda studies. I think we need to create the change and change the ideology of people from our end also, because obviously people are not educated about this, they don't know much about this, and in a sense Ayurveda, like from a government service, Ayurveda is still in a very poor condition, I would say. So and like the change that people would like to see compared to Western medical options is quite limited. I guess that's where, sort of people get this misconception, and it's always just some oil and arishta or something like that. But Ayurveda is way more it has a way deeper fundamental basis where it's actually not just a medical system, but an entire lifestyle, life science rather, when it comes to Ayurveda.
And of course, you are also registered under the Sri Lanka Medical Council, is it, as a doctor?
Yes, we are registered under the Sri Lanka Ayurveda Medical Council, which is a separate entity than the SLMC. But yes, I am registered.
Okay, so that is important because, like, a lot of people say they're Ayurvedic doctors. I think that is also another
Oh, yes.
problem because there are so many who call themselves Ayurvedic doctors and
Yes.
they might not have, gone through the correct procedure to get there.
Yeah.
So that is very interesting that you brought up that Ayurveda is a lifestyle, right? Not just the oils and things like that. So do you think it is because modern medicine offers quick fixes that, just you take a tablet, you'll be fine, right? You don't have to change your lifestyle though much. Well, they do recommend, but not a lot of people actually follow. They can, drink the tablet and they'll be fine kind of mentality compared to Ayurveda, which requires much more effort. So do you think that also is a factor that leading to this
Yeah,
misconception?
that has a huge portion of impact when it comes to people not being so interested in Ayurveda, because yes, there is some level of effort when it comes to preparing the medicine sometimes. But now a lot has changed because due to technological improvements, there are substitutes that that you can actually use rather than like earlier you would have to, like, if you need to prepare kashaya, you would have to add 8 cups and uh, what steam it down to 1 cup and so on. So that takes quite a lot of time and people are very busy. But there are substitute ways that we can give treatment for some, I mean, situations like that. So it's really up to the doctor to analyze what sort of background the patient is in and then suitably give medications, prescribed medications.
Oh, it's interesting, which is quite quite good information for people to have, because people still think if we go there, then we have to follow a long procedure to use the ointments and
Yeah.
the treatment and stuff. So now you have modern technology coming into Ayurveda also.
Yeah. And Zara, if
Coming
I
back to
may
your
disturb you a bit,
yeah,
another thing is like I'm not looking down on modern medicine or anything, but a lot of the time what happens is the symptoms are what's treated, and that is a quick fix. But in Ayurveda, we
yeah,
do not do symptomatical treatment. We always focus and try to find the root cause, and treating the root cause may take way longer than treating just a symptom. Of course, that is important, and people should also really take it into their mind that getting rid of the symptom is not going to fix something for long. And you really need to take care of what causes that symptom instead of just getting rid of the symptom.
yeah, that's important to actually do learn. Now, coming back to your clinic about women, you said you're focusing a lot on women. Why do you think, in your experience and your Ayurveda knowledge, that women need uh, a different care or like special care or like a different way of treating compared to men? Like, what is wrong with us?
Okay, nothing is wrong with us. Actually, we are really an amazing kind of being, women, really. So, the short answer to your question would be mainly we are biologically different than men. We have more complex bodies compared to men. And then comes the social and cultural factors, where women really don't get the kind of education, the nutrition, even the power to take care of themselves. So now, let's say mostly women in our culture are not earning for themselves. They don't have much of a say when it comes to their health. And socially and culturally, both, it's mostly disregarded. It's like if you have a period cramp, it's just disregarded. Okay, it's just a normal thing. So it's not normal. Like if you have menstrual
Yeah.
cramps, first of all, that means like you came up with the word prakriti, which is your natural body constitution of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, right? So that means some element of your body is so that's why you get these stuff. So if someone disregards these things, that means they are really disregarding their wellness and their health. So I think even more than the biological factor, the social and cultural factors are really what is keeping women from achieving wellness and keeping themselves healthy. And at Surya Shri,
That's right.
although it's a really tough challenge to overcome, and it really needs a lot of information to be taken out into the society. What we are trying to do is to focus on these misconceptions and imparity in the women's health and general human health.
What is, can you explain more like for everybody, Vata, Pitta, Kapha, right? You said,
Yes, Vata,
what is
Pitta, and
it?
Kapha. Yeah. So
Kapha.
Vata, Pitta, and Kapha are in Sinhala we like in our general terms we say Vapit Sem. So Vata, Pitta, and Kapha are three humors or energies that our bodies are made up of. Like for example, the constitution, the proportions of Vata, Pitta, and Kapha in each person is unique to them. Like let's say like your iris, your fingerprint, your DNA, it's unique to you. So that's why the Prakriti is very important in Ayurveda when it comes to treatment and also maintaining your wellness. I think it's not something that only doctors should know about. I think it's something that needs to be known by the general public as well, because it's important to know what is good for you before you consume it. Even food, let's say cosmetics or whatever, external products and everything, you should be concerned about what you put on your body and what you ingest, how your sleeping practices are. From every single thing you do from wake up to sleep is important. Basically, what Vata does is it's related to movement, your nervous system, your elimination, and the state of your mind. And when it comes to Pitta, it's a lot related to your metabolism, your hormones, digestion, and your energy. And Kapha is mostly what makes up the structure of your body, your strength, your immunity, and lubrication. But what needs to be kept in mind is, although these, I said, under Vata, Pitta, and Kapha are important and it looks like they are the main, what I want to say is, so what I said about Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, although the main component is responsible for what I said, like Vata is responsible for movement and all that, the other two humors are also contributing factors. So the balance is what you always need to maintain.
This importance of balance, right? I think it is also like very important for women, especially with our hormones and things like
Yes,
that.
definitely.
And so I think that comes under maybe Pitta. So Pitta is something that is a lot more you need to focus on for women compared to men. Am I right? I
So
mean, because there is a balance for
yes,
all.
yes, actually, yes. A lot of diseases that we come across are due to increased body heat, like ange ushne. You must have heard, like that's something
Yeah.
we use in general terms. So yes, that is a factor. But again, like if you have excess vata, that could dry out your system, and that could be a huge cause for subfertility and infertility. And then if you consider kapha is what actually combines pitta and vata together so that they function well. It's what creates the flow for kapha and pitta and vata to do their functions normally and naturally. So again, the balance is very important. But yes, hormones are the hormones fall mostly into pitta, so it's important to definitely to maintain your
Yes.
pitta.
What you spoke about, like if you compared like maybe ancient or olden times to modern life, right? We have a problem in balancing things out, and women mostly always like fall into the category of caregiving. They're always trying to cook for others, take care of
Yes.
others, and then you forget your own health, right? Was this different before, like in terms of women's health? Like were women before better in health wellness compared to us, or are we just getting worse?
Well, looking at our like the main books that we look up during our studies is called Charaka Samhita, Sushruta Samhita, and Vagbhata. So in all these ancient scripts, now here's the thing: the diseases and related to women's health are still now you can really see the similarities between what is mentioned in those books and what is happening now. Although the causes of those things may differ, but those situations have been going on. That's why I guess those are in those books, because those issues have been there for, like, it has been there always.
So there was a lot of focus on women's health per se in Ayurveda, like, because in modern medicine you don't really like differentiate, right? Now only they understand that medicine have to be tested between men and women, but earlier it was created for like humans. They thought that the
Yes.
man was the perfect human and they made medicines for men,
Yes.
right? So, but in Ayurveda this was different.
Yes, actually, since you mentioned until 1990, women were not it was not mandatory for women to be included in any sort of research studies. So only it was mandated only in 1990 that women should be included in any sort of health studies. So, but yes, in Ayurveda we have 8 portions in Ayurveda, and one is women and children's health. It's called Striroga and Kaumar Brutya. Striroga means women's health and wellness, and then Kaumar Brutya is Kumara Brutya, and that means care of children. So yes.
Okay. So given this, what particular areas that are different to when you are treating women and men? Like what do women have to know about?
Okay, so the most obvious and basic difference is where illnesses and diseases and disorders are related to the reproductive system. So there onwards, so we have period related issues, and then obviously pregnancy and postpartum related concerns, premenopausal, menopausal, and postmenopausal, health concerns. We have uterine fibroids, we have cervical cancer. These are explicitly women related. And then comparatively, women are also more affected by breast cancer, osteoporosis, and joint and bone related diseases, and then pelvic floor disorders because of the difference in anatomy, mostly, and physiology. And then we are more prone to UTIs because we have a shorter urethra than men. Men have 3 to 4 times longer urethra, so it sort of reduces the infection probability. And then women are also more prone to get sexually transmitted infections, again because of the anatomy of women. And then again, there's mental health related issues. Although the latter part is somewhat related to both men and women, women are more prone to acquire these diseases and disorders because of their anatomy. And then again, mental health, when it comes to mental health, it's just the load that is so especially in modern life, when women are also working while they are being housewives and mothers, so there's a lot of stress related issues going on.
So it's basically very difficult to be healthy as a woman. You are like programmed to
Is.
fall ill more.
Yes, it's quite a challenge, and really you should applaud women for keeping healthy as they are, at least.
Aging. So what you came up with a lot of cosmetic products, like a lot of people also have, but you also offer like other wellness packages that help women per se. Can you tell us like what went into the thinking of like you have to also move beyond like just scrubs and face washes, which a lot of Ayurveda people are doing, by the way, now, to like overall wellness kind of.
Yes. Okay. So when it comes to wellness, cosmetic stuff really has nothing to do with wellness unless it's personalized to you or really created for your requirements. Then also, now what we need to really understand is, when it comes to wellness, it's all about what's happening inside your body, because even your skin reflects what is going on inside your body, how clean your blood is, how well you are digesting your food. A lot of internal care will actually bring out wellness and therefore beauty, because beauty is what women are
Skin, not
most
skin.
concerned about. So again, women sought a lot of validation, and I guess that's why a lot of these hypes and cosmetic routines are followed. But again, when it comes to Ayurveda, it's all about maintaining your tridosha or your prakriti. So, understanding what is best for you and following that, keeping a routine, those things are important when it comes to women's wellness, because we have a roller coaster ride of hormones every month. And you need to understand your, first of all, women need to understand their cycle. How, understand yourself, just monitor yourself, monitor your, how your emotions are during these times, and monitor how you feel, your energy levels, and eat, sleep, and do your workouts or whatever according to that. So this is really important in women's wellness and mostly neglected.
Yeah, this about when you talk about the cycle, I'm just saying, like, not a lot of people don't even talk about having periods. They think it's like a very like an embarrassment, right? Like,
Yeah.
and they also think that the cycle is only the menstruation part, the where you bleed, right? Beyond that, there's very little information on like what happens to your body. So
Yeah.
if you can like in Ayurvedic terms, explain, like give a short description about like how you feel as you go along the cycle for women to kind of get a basic understanding, and later they can research more information. But if
Yeah.
you can tell them like, okay, watch out for these signs, this might be because of this phase of your cycle. Can you tell
Yeah.
them?
Okay. So when it comes to Ayurveda, the cycle starts from the first day you start your bleeding or your period. So from there onwards, women, due to age and their prakriti and other various reasons, can have their bleeding from, some anywhere from 1 to 7 days naturally. But then that during that time, you really need to consider about your nutrition and your mental wellness, because this is where you bleed a lot, and it's not normal for anybody to bleed like that. But women bleed naturally like that. Even if we do a blood transfusion, like, we donate blood, it's just 500 milliliters, and so much care is given during, that small time. But this is
Yeah.
continuous bleeding during a few days, and women can acquire anemia due to this if they are not taking this bleeding seriously. Not just menorrhagia, but just normal menstruation can cause anemia if you are not taking care of your nutrition. So it's important to take care of your nutrition, like eat well. And even sometimes you will notice, if you don't have any other underlying cause, eating well during your like period or your bleeding time will get rid of a lot of your pain, your period cramps. So that is because, again, some sort of nutritional factor is missing. So just eating and keeping yourself warm and hydrated will get rid of a lot of like symptoms during your bleeding time. And from there onwards, again, so again, then what happens is your endometrium starts growing, because our bodies are expecting a child. That's why there is a cycle. And by the end of, again, when you are bleeding, means that you are not, there is no conception. So our endometrium, it sheds, and then it gets ready for another conception. So this happens every month. From every month they switch and release eggs, so that women can contribute to getting pregnant. So again, when it comes to about 10 to 14 days, again, it varies on your prakriti and many other factors. That is the time where you can get pregnant, in simple terms. So it's important to understand that there is a certain period where you can get pregnant, because sometimes people don't know about this and they just think that it's infertility or subfertility. Missing this basic knowledge is also a considerable factor. Actually, it's quite a huge factor than you would think of. Just not knowing where you are, mostly they call it sarukala. So not knowing this time where you are able to get pregnant is is also important. So from there, again, after that comes the time where our bodies, if you do not get pregnant, then it starts to get ready to shed the endometrium. And then from there, what happens is, again, we may experience mood swings. And again, it's important to keep up your nutrition when it comes closer to your bleeding time.
So basically, we have to track our cycle and our nutrition according to it. Eat to your cycle.
Definitely.
That's what you're
Yes.
trying to say.
Yes.
Yeah. So in modern life, Dr. Mai, how do you think like to prepare food specially for a cycle, to exercise, to have like breaks? It's very difficult with work and family commitments maybe and various other social commitments. How can you give us some easy tips to follow for women, at home if they are like, looking to kind of balance their body a bit and the three Vata, Pitta, Kapha?
Right. So, what you need to understand again, according to Ayurveda, is you need to take care of your food, your sleep, and your physical activity. So, here you need to, like, for example, if you are a Vata, a typical person, you'd be very active. You would be, you're a quick thinker. You would take decisions quickly. You would move very fast, and you would have a moderate height, a little bit dark skin compared to other people, and dark. You could have, like, if you are imbalanced, you would get skin related issues easily. And so when you are a copper prone person, you have a very comparatively higher level of immunity. You would have a rather fair skin and lighter colored eyes, so on and so forth. There's quite a bit of how to identify yourself, your prakriti. So based on that, if you can actually do a prakriti test, which you can do on our website also, you can identify what sort of food is good for you and what sort of food you need to take on a seasonal basis, like even during your your period cycle, or even during seasonal and daytime. You can understand what is best for you to easily maintain their day to day with their wellness along with their day to day chores, is to understand this prakriti first of all, and then create I would suggest to create yourself a dinacharya meaning how you would spend your day. And in Ayurveda, this is explained as, waking up during 4 to 5, which is the Brahma Murti, which is the time where the air is most pure and the energy of the universe, as we call it, is quite high. So you start your day very fresh and energetic. And then from there onwards, it is advised to do exercises, meditation, and it is again important to, like, something very basic that you can do is start your day off with a warm glass of water, because that helps with defecation to your entire day's digestion. So simple things like this can actually make a huge difference. Apart from that, I would say focus on your rest. Rest is very important because that is where your body actually recovers from the day's stresses and, whatever injuries that there may be in your tissues, or, any imbalance in your body. So it's important to have your rest mindfully, not just, finish your day off and go try catch some sleep or so. So, and the other thing is brahmacharya, as I mentioned, it's managing your energy, especially your sexual energy. So, like, this is not to just avoid sexual act, but to understand what sort of energy level you have, and based on that, to conduct your sexual lifestyle, because it is important. It is a vital part of women's health, if you may say, not only in men's, because it's really something that is neglected, the women's sexual energy and sexual health, because it's really it's something we can talk about more in depth, really, maybe
I
someday.
think there'll be more podcasts also to do, but yeah. So basically, what you're talking about is this concept of balance, which I think
Yes.
now is coming into the form. I think in the West, you see all these new age podcast, like people talking about theories of wellness and health. And
Yeah.
earlier, there was this whole like belief that you have to have a rat race in life, right? You sleep very little, you work like 12, 13 hours a day. There's, constant run kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this is not very kind of sustainable for the body or the mind or even our productivity, actually, at the end of the
Yes.
day, which Ayurveda has been telling us for a long time, but
Yeah.
we have been ignoring. And what about, like, for example, if we're just coming back to like women, right? You say wake up early, do some meditation, drink this, drink that. But the first thing when women wake up is like, oh, I have to get my kids ready to school. I have to go rush to work. I have to prepare the food. It's
Yeah.
like a never ending list of things to do as you wake up,
Yeah.
right? So that's why like a lot of men will wake up and meditate because they have the time to do that. So like for women, right, how would you say, are there any like home remedies they can look to if things are not slowing down, if the pace of life is too fast? Is there any home remedies that they can look to?
Well, it really depends on the person, right? And what sort of situation they are in. Maybe because each and every one of us are different and we have our unique prakritis and everything. But in general, if I say, I think you would agree with me if I say that really one reason for us to be having such chaotic lives is mismanagement of our life,
Yeah.
basically, right?
Yeah.
And the lack of self-care and self-respect, really. We don't have that, as I think Asian or Eastern women, with the culture and the society influencing us from a very young age with all the responsibilities. You have to take care of other people before, like, not even, they don't even say before yourself.
Yeah, that's
It's
true.
just you need to take care of your, like, if you are a daughter, you need to take care of your parents. If you are a wife, you need to take care of your husband. If you are a mother, your children,
Yeah.
and so on and so forth. You need to take care of others all the time, right? But it's really important. Something I've heard and really admire is that you cannot fill another cup from an empty or half full glass. So
Yes.
you need to have your cup full before you try and try to fill other people's cups. So if you can, May, really, you should take focus onto yourself first. Focusing on yourself will change a lot. You will find time for yourself if you see that you are as important or even more important than your chores and taking care of other people. Because if you are not healthy and well, you taking care of other people will be a very short paced run.
Yeah.
Because what if you get sick? What if you get terminally ill? And
Mm.
then what happens to your lifestyle and what all of these chores that you need to do? So I
That's
think
true.
first of all, we need to take a step back from all this rush and fast-paced lifestyle and look at what we can do to actually improve ourselves, rather than trying to find a short-term answer to something that we have.
That's true.
So that's number one, I think. But if you really think about what we can do as like home remedies is, I would say, while you are even doing things, be mindful about what you are doing. Okay, that is very important. Just don't, for the sake of doing something, or in the time of what you're doing, like, if you can focus really on what you are doing, why you are doing this, and maybe even you can actually use it as a source of meditation on what you are doing, your daily chores even. So it's being mindful about what you are doing is, I would suggest that, because a lot of these health issues that we experience women having is related to stress and mostly from their high paced lifestyles. And another thing that they can do is, as women, what we can do and we should do is, even though it's a small thing always, accompany your meals with warm water so that it improves your digestion, because digestion is what causes all of your imbalances other than accidents and congenital issues we have. A lot of our imbalance is caused by poor digestion. And also, the other thing is, a simple thing that you can do is let your food digest before you eat again. Okay, we really sometimes ignore that. We would be snacking due to
The
ease or
whole day.
whatever. We do not eat. Yes, so we do not. And the other thing is, like, because digestion is so important, I will give you an example about like how you should look at digestion and your health. Now, take a pile of dry leaves, and if you set it on fire, if you give it the right amount of dry leaves, the fire will keep maintaining, right? So if the leaves run out, the fire will dry out. If you put more than necessary leaves on top of the fire will run out. So your digestion is quite something like that. It's easy when you look at it like that. So if you eat the proper amount of food at the right time, that itself will keep you well. But if you overwork your Agni or your digestive fire, or you do not give your body the required nutrition, again that would cause imbalance and cause different health concerns. So again,
I
accompanying
think that's very important. Warm water.
yeah, and keeping yourself hydrated during the day is also something we forget. Even though in a tropical
Yes.
country we need to drink at least 3 liters of water, if you really sometimes you feel like you're drinking a lot of water, but if you measure it up, it's maybe you are only taking about a liter of water, but our bodies are mostly made out of water. Nearly 70% of it is water. So if we deprive it of that water content, then again imbalance. Vata can be vitiated, and kapha can be dried out, pitta can be aggravated, and again imbalance. So even though these seem like very small things, negligible things, it's very important to, keep to the basics, basically.
Of course. Thank you so much, Dr. Mahi, because what you said was so right. Either women starve ourselves because we want to diet and we want to lose weight, we don't eat enough, or we are so stressed that we stress eat and gain weight. So there's no like balance there also. And taking, I think the key takeaway for me, at least in this podcast, is about upholding the balance in your body, in your lifestyle, in your everyday life. How are you going to balance everything, right? From your gut to your mind, basically.
Yeah.
Is that what would you say?
And if I may just say one more thing that I actually missed saying was it's very important to detoxify yourself from time to time, at least once a month, right? Because we eat a lot of conventional food, and we eat out. Even the food that we cook at home are store bought ingredients, so there's a lot of pesticides and all this artificial stuff. Food is packaged in plastics. We wear a lot of nylon, and like polyester and petroleum. We associate ourselves with a lot of petroleum products, so all these accumulate toxins in our body. So it's important to detoxify yourself at least once a month. You can do this at home easily. You can use a very common thing that is in our behet kade is called aralupati. So once a month you taking this under some doctor's consultation would get rid of a lot of these toxins from your body. And the other thing is drinking water. So these trying to keep yourself detoxed is also very important and something you can do at home easily, because it just takes only a couple of hours for this defecation process to happen once you take some sort of vireka, which we call, uh, to remove these toxins in your body, because a person can have up to 4 kilos of undigested food and toxins in their gut. Not that everybody has that much, but yes, that can
Yeah.
happen. So flushing your gut out itself will help in keeping maintaining your health.
That's really helpful and very good advice, which I should also look into. But thank you so much, Dr. Mahi, for those tips and explaining to us as to why women in particular need to take care of their health. Look after yourself first before you look after others. Thanks so much for that insightful conversation.
Thank you so much for joining me into your podcast. You girls are doing great work, and good luck with your future endeavors. I
Thank
hope we
you.
can have another few chats in future.
Yes, of course. I think we have to explore way more. We want to also improve our own health and in the process maybe help others doing the same. And great talking to you. And if you liked that podcast and found it very useful, please take the time to subscribe to our channel and press the like button and share it with your friends who would also find it useful in their day-to-day lives. Thank you. Bye.